Peace, infinite waters diving deep once again. This is Sexology, water, fire, hot, cold, yin, yang. And I haven't done Sexology in a while. Finding the one. How come I'm not with the person I want? And for me, along my journey, I had these questions and I realized it was to do with myself. It was because I didn't work on myself. And I realized the greatest relationship we can have is within ourselves, first and foremost, before we see anyone else. A lot of people, we feel we deserve to be with someone else. But if we're supposed to be with someone else, then we will be. And it's just amazing because we say, she's got to be mine, or he's got to be mine. And we forget that everything is based on resonance. And I found this along my journey in relationships. When we say, how come we're not with the one we desire? I've seen in my own journey, you have to meet each other halfway for anything to work. And a lot of the times, so many of us, we find ourselves in relationships where one person is doing all the hard work. On the scales, there's an imbalance. And for me, along my journey, I just feel so much. When I look back, there's so much humor because I realize that a lot of the times when you realize that essentially people are looking for their own reflection, even doesn't matter any time during our lifespan, we're looking for our own reflection. And when we see it in certain times, we see it in glimpses in certain people. They have this smile which is similar to ours, and we say, oh yeah, that's just like me looking in the mirror. So for me, when I realized this, I said, what is it that I want? Because we have to remind ourselves that nobody can give us what we don't already have. And therefore, essentially, along my journey, I was actually looking for a complement. Because you have to become whole first before you can meet another whole. You can't be fragmented. A lot of us, our life is in a shambles, and we want to find someone who is going to make everything perfect. And I realized there is no perfect mate. Everything is, you have to meet someone halfway. You have to say, okay, I'm not looking for perfection in anybody. All I'm looking for is a compliment. And that's how it is. A lot of us, when you don't put all your eggs in one basket, because no one should be lifting us up from the ground. Because when you do that, the relationship turns bitter, it turns sour, because the other person becomes drained emotionally. And finding the one, I just realized on my journey, it was all about surrendering to who you are. And when you do that, you embrace yourself. And when someone loves you for who you are, then you know it's authentic. You could meet someone who has a big bank account balance and you fall in love because they can take you to this fancy restaurant, they can take you to the cinema, they can take you in their nice Ferrari or whatever. And a lot of the times, and then what? All of that wears off eventually. All that's left is the truth, and all that's left is, do I find resonance with this person? It's Sunday afternoon, there's nothing to do. Can you talk to this person for a couple of hours? Or do you need to turn on the TV? Because I always found it strange when we say, let's go on a date. We distract ourselves from each other. This yin and yang connecting. We're watching a movie which is distracting us from even getting to know each other on a more intimate level. And when you surrender, it allows you, and this is what I found on my journey, it allows you to see more clearly your other complement. Not your opposite, your complement. And when I found it and when I saw it, first of all, you realize that, especially as a man, and when you see a woman, yes, there is something which is great. You want an attractive woman. You want a woman who is going to inspire you. And all of these things through her beauty. But on a deeper level, what is beauty? There's so many levels of attraction. And when women don't just have to rely on their high heels or their makeup to attract a man, because if you get a man, it may not be the man that you want. It may just be the man that wants you because you have these certain shoes. You look good on the outside, but on the inside it's another story. And guess what? You're gonna have to wake up to that person every day. Could you do that for the rest of your life? And it's the same for a lot of women. When you want a powerful man who has this successful job, when he loses his job, then what? So many of us, we're in love with the image. We're in love with the shell as opposed to its content. And that's what I found on my journey. And I realized, okay, all of the superficial, external, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But on a deeper level, we have to have that inner radiance and the outer shine as well. And when we talk of finding the one, there's going to be a lot of disappointments. I found it in my journey. I've been in relationships, and sometimes there's not even anything wrong with the other person. Sometimes it's you. They're mirroring back something you have to deal with. And they're teachers. They're teaching us more about ourselves. But when we talk of just finding the one, search and you will not find. The more you look, you'll become disappointed. Sometimes I found on my journey, you have to let go of everything to almost not even care anymore. And then when you fall into your natural flow, it becomes easier to see yourself in other people. Finding the one. This is Sexology. Infinite waters, diving deep once again. Stay well, stay healthy.